Kia have just updated this. This is the new Kia Sorento, and here are 3 of the most important changes that have happened to the new Kia Sorento. It hasn't gone through any major updates, but there are some small things that do make a bit of a difference. The first change is the styling. There's been some changes around the bumpers and exterior metal, and also some new LED lights. And this Kia Sorento is dripping in adventurous green metallic paint, which I think is one of the best colors for the new Sorento. And at the back we get some new tail lights and a new redesigned bumper, which I think looks quite nice. And this is basically just keeping in line with Kia's new design language. And this hybrid Kia Sorento comes with these 19-inch alloy wheels, which I actually think look great too. The other big change is that this car gets a lot more screens. So we're getting 2 12.3-inch displays here on a curved display, which is insane. So this looks really advanced for a Kia Sorento. And you've got really nice refresh rate, and you've also got really nice contrast here too. And you've also got wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. The infotainment comes with voice memo features, you've got a car wash mode, and yes, Apple CarPlay takes up the entire screen, which is a good thing. And we've also got a new readout for the driver's display, which looks great too, and it's nice and clean and very easy to read. We've also got a new digital rear vision mirror on this GT line model, and we also get this display down here which doubles as a infotainment button display and also your climate controls, which we first saw on the Kia EV6, which is now being used on the new Sorento. And finally, you can control the new Kia Sorento from your phone using Kia Connect now. So you can use your phone to turn on the air conditioning, you can lock and unlock the doors, you can check out how much fuel you have left, and you even can open and close your windows, and you've got remote engine start from your phone as well, and you can even put your navigation in your phone and it will appear in your car. You've also got an SOS button now inside the car, which means in case of emergencies, you're able to contact emergency services without having to use your phone, which is a great thing. But how much does this all cost? Well, the new Kia Sorento has a bunch of different models. You've got petrol models, you've also got diesel models, but I'm testing this hybrid model here. This is the all-wheel drive version, and this will now cost you $73,330 before on-road costs. So a drive-away price is close to 80 grand, and this is the most expensive Kia Sorento you can buy. But if you don't need all-wheel drive, there is a front-wheel drive version, which is around 3 grand less, but to be honest, you're probably better off just getting the diesel instead of this. And that's because the diesel is more affordable, and it's probably just as economical when you're driving around town. But if you really want to maximize your fuel savings, then yeah, the hybrid's probably going to be the better bet for long-term usage. That's because under here is a 1.6 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder, which is paired up to an electric motor, which is actually mounted onto the gearbox. And there's also a 1 kilowatt-hour battery on board, which isn't very big. But combining all those, you'll get a combined power output of 169 kilowatts and 350 newton meters of torque. Let's talk about ownership costs and reliability. So you get a 7-year unlimited kilometer warranty with the new Kia Sorento, as you've always been able to have. But the thing is that if you get the hybrid model, you'll have to service it more frequently in terms of kilometers compared to the petrol or diesel models. So this thing has to be serviced every 12 months or every 10,000 kilometers. And you can expect the average service cost over that period to be around $655 for the all-wheel drive hybrid model. But it should only be $649 on average if you just get the front-wheel drive version of the hybrid Sorento. So to be honest, those service costs aren't too bad. Now in terms of reliability, this car scores a 4.2 out of 5 on productreview.com.au from owners who have reviewed and bought and lived with the Kia Sorento. And there you can read about people's ownership experiences, but largely it is a very positive ownership experience when people buy a Kia Sorento. So you could buy one of these and know you're probably in for a good time. The Kia Sorento also gets a very annoying feature because this thing has Hyundai and Kia's new automatic speed sign recognition, which does this if you exceed the speed limit by 1 kilometer an hour. Now, what's cool is that new Hyundai and Kias come with a star button on the steering wheel. You press that and that will quickly jump you into the menu, which allows you to disable that. But you're gonna have to do that every time you hop into your car because it resets every time you drive your car and turn it on. Now, Kia hasn't made any big claims to any changes they've done to the suspension or drivetrain in this car. It's still running the same drivetrain I've already tested in this thing, and I can't help but feel that they have made improvement with the integration of the petrol motor and the electric motor. The handling of this thing is fine for a big SUV, but it's nothing too impressive. But it's something I do appreciate is it does feel like the electric motor and the petrol motor talk a lot smoothly together. So it means that they're able to sort of seamlessly integrate, and instead of just the petrol motor turning on with a lot of noise, it seems like it's doing it a lot quietly now. So I can't really tell when the petrol motor's kicking in until it's really revving up. Now we only have a 6-speed automatic transmission on this thing, which I think is a bit of a downside, and I think it hurts your fuel economy as well because it requires the car to hold gears for longer. And that 1 kilowatt-hour battery, even though the car says it's half full, it doesn't feel like the car's prioritizing using that much at all while I'm driving. And so that means my fuel economy figure for the time I've been driving this thing is nowhere near the claimed combined figure of 5.7 liters per 100 kilometers. I get an average use of 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is, to me, too high for a hybrid petrol car. I just got out of a Volkswagen Golf that doesn't have any hybrid technology, and that was achieving 4 liters per 100 kilometers in a small time of driving I was using it on the highway. I've been driving on a bit of highway and a bit of urban use, and this just feels a bit too high. I've seen it exceed 10 liters per 100 kilometers when I've needed to accelerate a bit more rapidly. So I don't think the fuel savings are as convincing on my initial drive as I would hope if you're spending more on a hybrid. And the Kia Sorento is a great car for families because it still has really good second row space, and of course you can throw people into the third row, but unfortunately there are no airbags for the third row, which is a common complaint I see with reviews of this car, and that hasn't been changed for this facelift model. What's cool is that these paddle shifters aren't for changing gears, they instead allow you to adjust your regen, so you can tap on those and get more regen into that 1 kilowatt-hour battery to try and get as much electric charge in there as possible to try and bring your fuel consumption down. But I've already reviewed these cars extensively, and I've found them to be very pleasant to drive, and they make great family cars, and I love the seating position, I love the visibility out of here, and there's been no massive changes to all that, which I think is a good thing. And while Kia has made some improvements to this hybrid powertrain to make sure it's as efficient as possible, to be honest, I don't really see the fuel savings there compared to a more efficient hybrid. But if you do want a Kia Sorento, I think the new model is its strongest model yet, and if you want a hybrid, at least there's the option there to buy one.